It's Friday, February 3rd, and this is 5 on 20 News, where the news is fresh, but the newscasters are fresher, with Zaina Peterson
and Joel Foster. First, let's talk local headlines.
It looks as though Arizona lawmakers are joining a disturbing trend by criminalizing dissent. The Senate Judiciary Committee has approved a law proposed by Republican Senator Sonny Borrelli of Lake Havasu City. The bill will add rioting to the organized crime statutes. This means an overt act wouldn't be needed to prove a conspiracy to riot. Senate Bill 1142 also allows prosecutors to seize assets under civil forfeiture laws for rioters. Borrelli says it is important to prevent riots, and this will target groups who pay protesters. But the idea that groups are paying protesters to hit the streets has not been entirely proven to be true, though conservatives love to talk about it. No Democrats voted for the bill, and even some Republicans had reservations. Republican Bob Worsley voted for the bill, but he is worried about overcriminalization, probably because Republicans will eventually lose the majority, and then they'll want to protest.
Makes sense. Yesterday, a judge voided a Pima County contract with Worldview Enterprises. The Goldwater Institute brought the lawsuit on behalf of Pima County taxpayers. They opposed the lease that would have given Worldview access to a $15 million facility built using county funds. Worldview is looking to set up a site to launch balloon rides that would cost several $1,000s to take a ride. But Pima County was required to have the facility appraised, hold a public auction, and set the lease rate no lower than 90% of the appraised value before entering into an agreement for the space. Instead, Pima County ignored these requirements and went forward with the contract with Worldview. The judge in the case says that the county should have secured a competitive bid for the space. And critics agree, saying the company would not make enough profit to warrant the lease and that this is a form of illegally subsidizing a private business. Judge Catherine Wood said that Worldview was paying below market prices for the lease and that there was no competitive bidding for the project. County Supervisor Sharon Bronson says that she will seek an appeal in the case and that the county does have an opportunity to renegotiate the lease after they complete all the necessary requirements. If that doesn't work, Bronson will hop into one of the Worldview's balloons, fly into the stratosphere, and never return.
A Tucson Republican is introducing a bill that would make it more difficult to present referendums to voters. Representative Vince Leach's HB 2404 would require payments for ballot circulators to register, and companies that hire circulators who end up violating laws would be subject to a $10,000 fine. This comes after Republicans opposed 3 initiatives that were due to be on the 2016 ballot, including referendums to raise the minimum wage and legalize marijuana. Republicans challenged all 3 referendums in court, but only one was thrown out. Voters later passed the minimum wage increase. Leach says his bill is intended to protect voters' rights, particularly those who were shocked that the marijuana initiative was on ballot. But a lawyer who defended the minimum wage bill said it's really an attack on voters' rights. The best part is that lawmakers who frequently use signature circulators are exempt from the bill.
Of course. Tucson Mayor Jonathan Rothschild is opening the city's doors to Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto. Rothschild says that the door to our city is open, and building a wall or increasing tariffs sends the wrong message. His statements come in reaction to Donald Trump's threat of imposing a 20% tax on Mexican imports and his plans to erect a delectable, hot, barely legal wall on the Mexican border. The mayor sent a letter to the Mexican president on Wednesday mentioning the city's views on opposing policies that negatively affect relations between the two countries, such as SB 1070. Rothschild also said that, quote, "We are deeply troubled by the tone and content of recent executive orders and wish to explore ways in which we might strengthen our economic and cultural ties." Well done.
Arizona was rated one of the worst states in the country for highway safety, according to a report released on Tuesday. The Advocates for Highway and Auto Safety analyzed 15 laws that the organizations feel are essential for driver safety. These include laws related to drunk driving and distracted driver measures, such as cell phone bans. Arizona only had 4 out of the 15 laws put in place, 1 out of 3 states that ranked that low. Kathy Chase, vice president for the Highway Safety Group's Government Affairs, said that the states need safety updates, such as child booster seat laws for children up to 8. She says the law prevents accidental deaths from seat belts, which can be dangerous for smaller children. But Alberto Gutierrez, director of the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, disagrees, pointing to the state's aggressive drunk driving and speeding laws as some of the toughest in the country. He says that Arizona was the 4th state in the country to receive 5 stars from the Mothers Against Drunk Driving 2 years in a row. Councilmember Steve Farley agrees that the state needs to do a better job of ensuring safety on the roads. He introduced a bill last month that would ban texting and driving, but the bill has been slow to gain support and made only banned for younger drivers.
A mural project intended to beautify the city has run out of money. The project was funded by the Tucson Arts Brigade and does not use taxpayer money. So now they need you. If you'd like to donate, go to TucsonArtsBrigade.org, or you can attend the Healing Power of Music event on February 24th at the Edward Berger Performance Center. The proceeds go to Tucson Arts Brigade and features music from Gabriel Ayala and our Carlos Nakai Quartet.
And I want to take a moment to talk about the program you're watching right now. Here at 5 on 20, we are undertaking a new kind of citizen journalism. We are going to give you the news as we see it, and we want more people to speak up with us. We need writers, hosts, anchors, camera people, sound people, the whole gamut. The times require a new way of informing ourselves, so join us, do it, and do it now. Email us all the info at creativetucson.org to get involved. And if you think there's a story we're missing, a person we should interview, an upcoming event we should cover, or have any news tips for us, shoot an email to info@creativetucson.org. We are here for you, and we want to cover all stories from all points of views, so don't be strangers. Now, in national and international news.
Congress struck oil again. Republicans ran through 2 Congressional Review Act challenges, handing a victory to the fossil fuel industry. We reported on Wednesday how Congress reversed the Stream Protection Rule, which protected waterways from the effects of debris caused from mountaintop mining. But largely forgotten is a reversal of a rule that required oil, gas, and mineral companies to report payments to foreign governments. The rule was made as part of the Dodd-Frank Act, a bundle of laws intended to prevent another financial collapse like that in 2008. Congress passed the bill 235 to 187 largely along party lines, but with Democrats joining Republicans to allow foreign corruption to continue. Critics say that oil corporations such as ExxonMobil will benefit from the law because now they can negotiate with governments such as Russia's without revealing it to the public. It's even more questionable with the appointment of Rex Tillerson as Secretary of State, since he was the former CEO of ExxonMobil. Vladimir Putin applauded the rule, stating that he finally feels like his investment is paying off.
Hey, good news. Your crazy Uncle Jerry, who thinks Doctor Who is real, can now get a gun. Republicans have struck it once again, this time on your sense of safety. Congress voted to repeal Obama-era regulations that required the Social Security Administration to report those who are incapable of possessing a gun due to mental illness. The rule's intent was to limit the access of guns by those with mental illness, but critics say that the law went too far. Odd bedfellows such as the National Rifle Association and the American Civil Liberties Union both opposed the law because it included too broad range of what isn't considered mental illness. Representative Kevin Brady, a Republican from Texas, says that the agency should not be picking and choosing who gets to have Second Amendment rights. This comes as yet another use of Congressional Review Act, which has become the stomach flu of obscure laws.
A Texas judge has blocked a state law that would have required women to cremate or bury their aborted fetuses. Judge Sam Sparks attacked the state's motives in passing a law, saying that this looked more like an attempt to make abortion illegal than an attempt at improving public health. The bill was passed on the premise that new measures would positively impact health because it was tacked onto an existing state law that requires hospitals to dispose properly of medical waste. The bill was then changed to require fetal tissue to be separated from medical waste and then be properly buried and cremated. Oddly, the state backed down and said that fetal tissue isn't actually human remains. That was after the judge pointed out that state law says that incinerated human remains can be spread in a landfill. The judge also questioned how there would be enough vendors to collect, transport, cremate, and bury the waste. The Texas Catholic Conference offered to bury the fetal tissue, but it's unclear if they would be able to obtain the permits needed to transport and handle the medical waste. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton said that they will appeal the case in the more conservative Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Courts have blocked similar bills in Indiana and Arkansas, and orders have been made to have the bills cremated and buried inside Vice President Mike Pence's colon.
And we just want to take a moment to give respect to the victims of the Bowling Green Massacre. Okay, that'll do, because there is no such thing as the Bowling Green Massacre, despite claims by White House advisor Kellyanne Conway to the contrary. She brought up this fake event during the interview where she tried desperately to defend the Trumpkins Muslim ban. A pile of straws were left sadly lying on the floor after Conway was done accessing the creative part of her brain. She was referring to the incident in 2011 where 2 Iraqi men in Bowling Green, Kentucky were arrested for allegedly plotting a terrorist attack, but in reality, they never successfully carried out an attack or even littered in the name of Islam. But the fact that there was no massacre didn't keep Conway from using the men as good reason for the Muslim ban, which has resulted in 100,000 visas being taken away from foreigners, according to the Justice Department. Next, Conway is expected to suggest a $50 million memorial for the victims of the Bowling Green massacre, featuring names that Conway made up, such as Eddie Spaghetti and Salmonella.
Utah Representative Jason Chaffetz withdrew his bill that would have allowed for the lease of 3.3 million acres of federal land in the U.S. And then Chaffetz suddenly took a comic reversal on the vote, deciding to suggest he never wanted to pass the bill in the first place. He posted a picture of himself in full hunting gear with a dog that he probably borrowed. Chaffetz says that in the post that he decided to let the bill go because he heard a lot of backlash from groups he supports and cares about. And Chaffetz still has another bill under his sleeve. This bill would take away the Bureau of Land Management and U.S. Forest Service's ability to enforce the law inside the parks. If that bill also fails, Chaffetz will don a Forest Service uniform and protest that nasty Jason Chaffetz character.
Well, we're partying like it was 2001 this week as the Iran saber rattling began. In his daily press meeting, Press Secretary Sean Spicer falsely claimed that the Iranian forces attacked a U.S. Navy vessel in Yemen. This came after National Security Advisor said that Iran was, quote, on notice, which made him sound like he was trying out for a Dirty Harry remake. The truth was that the attack was on Saudi vessel, and it was struck not by Iran, but the Houthi rebels. The rebels were fighting Saudi forces over the control of the country, which lacks a central government. The Houthis are said to be supported by Iran because they are both Shiite Muslims battling the Sunni-led Saudis. So Spicer was more than stretching when he said that Iran was perpetrators. So it comes to no surprise that the Treasury Department places new sanctions on Iran, this time targeting individuals connected to the country's missile test. Trump has consistently bashed the 2015 nuclear agreement between the U.S. and Iran, calling it the worst deal ever negotiated. Coincidentally, Melania Trump also describes her marriage as the worst deal ever negotiated.
Betsy DeVos, Trump's nomination for Education Secretary, cleared another hurdle in the Senate. This sets her up for a full confirmation vote, which is slated for Monday. DeVos has been pummeled by criticism over the past 2 weeks, accusing her of being unqualified to serve in the role. She has for years been a massive funder of the Republican Party and one of Trump's largest financial backers. Critics say that DeVos seeks to expand private schools at the expense of public education. Her disastrous confirmation hearings haven't helped, with DeVos weirdly defending schools' right to carry guns because of grizzlies. Two Republicans, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins of Maine, said this week that they wouldn't vote to confirm DeVos. If that's the case, her vote would be left in a tie broken by Vice President Mike Pence, who would likely vote for confirmation. That is, unless we can get another U.S. Senator to oppose DeVos. Senator John McCain has emerged this week as Donald Trump's public enemy #1, so it's possible that he could be convinced to vote against DeVos. But McCain's office will need to be flooded with phone calls to convince him. Now, we're not telling you to call McCain's office because that would be against our journalistic principles. But we're not telling you to call John McCain's Washington office at 202-224-2235 or his Tucson office at 520-670-6334.
Okay, guys, this was Zaina Peterson
And Joel Foster for 5 on 20 News. Next up, Ty Besh and I spoke to Syrian refugees that are selling their unique sweets to the Tucson community. Stay tuned for their story. All right, welcome back, you guys. So we're here to premiere a video that me and Ty, this is Ty Besh, by the way.
Hello.
So give you a little story of what this started. So in Tucson, there's been a program they've been calling Syrian Suites, where a group of Syrian refugees who came here to Tucson have started to, I guess, start their own business, making Syrian desserts and sweets and all kinds of snacks and selling them on Sundays at a local church. So we heard about the story, and we decided to investigate it further, and we got in touch with some of the refugees involved. They turned out to be great to work with. They invited us over, and so you want to take over from there?
Yeah, so we got in touch with, her name is Marwa. Oh, here we are. So Marwa is a Syrian refugee here, and what Joel and I wanted to do was basically, we were like, we don't want to go to the Syrian bake sale and just tell the story, you know, because you really can't. We knew we couldn't do it within an hour or so, and so basically, you know, we took a week, we did our research, right, and we got in touch, and they connected us with Marwa. Marwa is interesting because she doesn't speak English. So, and we knew that. So going into it, we're like, okay, we need a translator. And we got someone that works, you know, with the bake sale in the whole endeavor. And we basically wanted her to just tell us about her life and how she got here and what she's been doing here and all that kind of stuff. And oddly enough, you know, we show up to her apartment, and it's just her and her husband, and then her kids show up later. You know, it became like this family affair, and we were there for like an hour.
Yeah,
shooting
playing with the kids and hitting balloons
It
around.
was great,
and,
yeah. And I mean, I don't know about you, but like for me, it was like, wow, it's beautiful how like welcoming they were to us. You know, because I mean, anyone who's like, okay, I don't know what this journalist is trying to do. Like, I don't know what their agenda is. Yeah, and I mean, you can tell too in the video. Like, it took her a few minutes, but I think after just a few minutes, she was very comfortable with us, and she was answering, you know, candidly, it seemed. And so what we basically had to do is that Joel or I would ask a question while she was baking. The translator would speak to her in Arabic, and then she would respond to us in Arabic, and we're kind of just like, okay. And then the translator gave us like a 10 or so second, like, here's what she just said, like, let's move on. So that part of it was cool. I don't know about you, but like, it was cool, like, because I had no idea what she was saying, but you can tell, like, from like just gestures, right?
Oh, definitely. Her facial expressions. There was one part where we asked her about her husband, how they met, and you can kind of see, you know,
brightens up.
Yeah, for sure. And,
God, yeah, that was cool. So basically, we just followed her through, and she made 2 different dishes for us, and we were thinking like, okay, she's making this for the bake sale, like, this is cool. And then at the end, she has these 2 dishes of like sweets, and she's like, okay, eat them. And we're like, all of them? And she's like, yeah, I made these for you. And there's like 20 on each plate. Right. And we're like, okay, here we go. Yeah. And then she gave us this like...
rocket fuel coffee.
Oh my God. And I don't drink coffee. I don't know about you do.
I do, yeah. It was even way stronger than what I'm used to.
I was up till 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I did not sleep. It was like a cup this big. And I sipped it, and I was like, this is interesting. And I did not sleep. So that was crazy. But yeah, I'm glad that we got a chance to like actually get in depth with her, because that was a good 45 minutes to an hour of us asking questions, watching her bake, and so what we did was we cut it down to 10 minutes of just kind of like introductory stuff, and then getting into the meat of stuff of her talking about why she came here, what's it been like, and yeah.
Yeah, the thing that was really encouraging from talking to them was how welcoming she described Tucson as being, you know, and especially times right now where there's a lot of tension over that kind of thing, to hear that Tucson, in particular, has been super welcoming to them. She said that the kids are in school, they're making friends, everyone's been nice, they haven't been subjected to any sort of bullying or anything like that. It made me proud to be here.
I think it's good to know, too, we shot this, was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
We shot this 3 weeks ago, before all this went down. So before anything, you know, was in the air, like what the heck is going on every single day, you know, with the political stuff, everything was fine when we talked to her. So it's been really interesting because, you know, we were in the editing bay and we had to get the subtitles done and we had to get things translated, and then this bomb just drops, you know, like here's what's happening every day with, you know, with these laws and stuff. So since then it's been really interesting to see, and I think I couldn't imagine a better time to just show this person that's like, she just wants to come here and like give her kids a better life and bake for people. Like that's it.
Yeah, eventually she said she wants to open her own business, and that's her long-term goal.
Yeah.
And her husband was he was a doctor back in Syria.
Yep.
Right. So he sort of has to go through, all that.
Got to find a way to become a doctor again.
Yeah.
Which you hear that a lot, but it's so sad. He's like, you just started rock bottom, when you come over here, and hopefully he figures it out. But yeah. And were they twins, the kids? No.
No, they were just really close in age.
They were just oddly.
Yeah.
They had the same clothes. That's what it was. The same clothes on.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? It was really important. Oh, but and we have a little bit of. We went to the bake sale after all, and we saw her interact with the people, which is amazing. There was music, and everyone was smiling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was packed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was unreal, and so we have some footage of that at the end, but we don't say much about it. You'll see a transition in the end, and that was just overwhelming. I guess what they told us was because the first go round was so successful. They're like, let's do this again, and then it was just packed. So it seems like they're getting a really warm welcome, like you said, and people are just loving these sweets. Like they're bringing Tupperware and containers and boxes. I saw boxes, so it'll be cool to see, where she goes and where they just go as a group.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one other interesting bit that we got from talking was so Marwa was in a refugee camp for 5 years.
Yeah.
She said for 5 years.
She had to go to Jordan.
Jordan, right?
Yeah.
So she had to go to Jordan for 5 years in order to come here. So it's just interesting, hearing about this extreme vetting stuff, and hearing her experience of, it sounds like she was pretty extremely vetted. So it was just kind of interesting talking to somebody actually who'd been in that position rather than relying on whatever secondhand sources are going on. So yeah, that was interesting. Another thing she had said too, and I'd asked her, her translator, about whether they knew that civil war was coming to Syria, and she had said, they were expecting it for years. Like it was just one of those things where they said any day now it was going to break out. And she said, mainly it's about the Sunni Shiite divide over there. And It was interesting because in America we don't really talk about that all that much. It's not really.
People don't know those words.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just interesting. It's almost like talking about Northern Ireland with the Protestants and the Catholics. It was kind of that same situation. And it really changed my thinking on a lot of what's going on there. So interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot I want to say, but I don't want to give too much away.
No, that's fine. So
so anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, well, so we'll go into the video hopefully in a second here, and it's about 10 minutes, so enjoy. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
أكيد عند الماما تعلمتها، هي علمتني كل إشي. كنت على المطبخ كان عندي 7 سنين. علمتني كل الأكلات طبعاً وكل الحلويات. هي موجودة بالمحلات بكل مكان عندنا بسوريا، بس نحن ستات البيوت بنحب نعمل كل شغلنا بإيدينا. هلا أمي عمرها صار 45 سنة. هي ست بيت، كتير بتعرف تعمل أكلات طيبة. طبعا كل أكلها طيب. أي شيء عملته نحن كنا نفرح لما تعملنا أي شيء نوع أكل. فهي أكيد تعلمت من أمها من ستي. فهذا الشيء الطبخ عنا متوارث من الأم للبنت، من البنت لبنتها. هيك نحن حياتنا كلها بنحب المطابخ، بنحب الأكل السوري، بنحب نعمل الأكل، نحب نعمل شغلنا بإيدينا، بنحب نعمل شيء. أولادنا بيفرحوا حتى إذا بنعمل لهم أي أكلة، بينبسطوا أكثر ما نشتريهم إياها من المحلات. هاي رح نحشيها بالجوز. نحن ما اخترنا توسان، هن اللي حانوا اختاروا اللي قدمونا هالهجرة، هن اللي حانوا اختاروا لنا هالمكان، والحمد لله انبسطنا كتير لأنه اجينا لهون. هلا الناس اللي بتوسان كلها ناس طيبة وساعدتنا كتير. أول ما وصلنا رحبوا فينا وعملونا أحسن معاملة، حسسونا إنه جينا يعني تفائلنا هون، بلشنا بحياة جديدة، في تفاؤل، في حب، في تعاطف معنا، ساعدونا بكل شيء. يعني هون كتير ناس طيبة ما تركونا لحالنا. أنا بالأساس أنا بحب اللغة الإنجليزية وكنت حابة كتير أتعلمها. أنا جوزت صغيرة ما درسنا بالمدارس كتير، يعني درست للصف التاسع وطلعت من المدرسة. يعني كان عندي فكرة بسيطة عن الأحرف، يعني كيف بترحبي، كيف بتسلمي بالإنجليش. فكنت حابة يعني للمستقبل أتعلم الإنجليزي، فمتشجعة كثير يعني أتعلم، والحمد لله يعني ما عم لاقي صعوبة. هو شوي مختلف وصعب، بس أنا بالنسبة إلي يعني بما إني حابته ما عم لاقي صعوبة. مشان هيك بالأردن كنا عايشين، عشنا 4 سنين. كان الشغل صعب، الحياة صعبة كانت هناك. كنا مبسوطين، كل الناس حبابة يعني، وكمان استقبلتنا كتير منيح وما حدا أساء لنا أبدا. بس كان الشغل شوي صعب والمعيشة كانت صعبة وإيجار البيوت كان غالي. فجينا لهون لقينا فرصة للحياة أكتر، يعني في عمل، في تعليم للأولاد، في مستقبل لهم. مشان أولادي بدي أضحي، بدي أطلع، بدي أمن لهم المستقبل. الحمد لله في إقبال، يعني الناس حبت الشغل، حبت الأكلات السورية. هذا الشيء يعني ببسطنا الحمد لله. يعني حسينا إنه عملنا شيء، عم نعمل شيء للمستقبل. يعني ما لنا قاعدين، يعني حتى لو ستات بيوت وما عنا لغة، ما عنا مثلا شهادات للعمل هون وجداد، بس في شيء، عملنا شيء. حتى لو إنه فترة قصيرة، بس الحمد لله عملنا شيء والحمد لله. يعني حياتي مثل كل العالم، كل الناس عادي، ما في شيء. نروح المدرسة نرجع، كان في أمان الحمد لله. كنا مبسوطين، يعني مثل أي ولد أي بنت عايشين حياتهم، يعني ما في أي صعوبات، بالعكس كنا مبسوطين كتير.
Does she still have family back in this area, or is everybody?
كل أهلك في سوريا ولا في طلع؟
لا، كل أهلي بسوريا، ما حدا طلع. هن حابين يطلعوا بس ما في مجال انه يطلعوا، لانه هن داخل سوريا. اللي بده يطلع على امريكا لازم يطلع على الاردن مثلا او على لبنان، لازم يكون لاجئ لدول اخرى حتى يطلع. فهن ما طلعوا من الاساس. هلا هون عندنا بالمجمع في كتير عائلات سورية، فهي مبسوطة فيهم وفرحانة، حاسة حالها انها ببلدها، يعني ما هي مغتربة. وعم تروح المدرسة عادي ومبسوطة مع رفقاتها، يعني بتحكي معهم بالإنجليزي، بتيجي لعندي بتحاكيني بالإنجليزي، ماما أنا اليوم تعلمت كذا، ماما أنا اليوم تعلمت كذا. فهي يعني عم تختلط فيهم، يعني مبسوطة، حاسة حالها إنه بين رفقاتها بين أصحابها، يعني كتير مبسوطة، ما حسيت يعني إنه هي غريبة يعني عني. وهن كتير بحبوها، كل يوم حتى عندها رفيقة بنفس المبنى، كل يوم بيجي لعندها شام تعالي نلعب، شام تعالي نلعب. قولي ماما هي رفيقتي بدي اطلع العب معها. روحي ماما، ايه روحي العبي عادي.
What does she wish for her kids? Like, what does she hope that they're able to do or achieve, or does she have any hopes and dreams for them, or?
اكيد بتمنى انه يتعلموا وياخذوا شهادات يرفعوا فيهم راسهم، يعني يتعلموا المستقبل، شيء يعني يكون عندهم شيء مستقبل لقدام إلهم ولأولادهم، بس يتجوزوا ويصير عندهم أولاد. يعني بتمنى يتعلموا كل شيء. كمان أنا إلي حصة يعني هون، لازم أعيش، أشتغل، أعمل شيء، كون أنجزت شيء في المستقبل، ربيت أولادي وتعلمت أنا، صار عندي شهادة، صار عندي طموح، وساعدت جوزي بكل الصعوبات اللي تخطيناها. يعني هذا شيء حلو، نجاح بحد ذاته. حبيت لوسان أكثر شيء، وما عندي لحد الآن ولا فكرة إني أطلع منها، ولا عندي إني أفكر إني أطلع منها، لأنه شعب كثير طيب هون، كثير ناس حباب وحبونا وساعدونا. فيعني كثير حلوة، يعني عايشين الحمد لله مبسوطين، ما فيها أي إزعاج حتى أفكر إني أطلع منها. هي أول مرة بطلع فيها على التلفزيون، أول مرة بواجه كاميرا. كنت خايفة بالأول، بس هلا لا، حاس حالي بين أهلي بين ناسي، يعني ما في شي بخوف، بالعكس هذا شي بفتخر فيه، يعني ما في شي بخوف. هلا كنا عايشين نفس الحارة، فكنت راح على المدرسة يشوفوا، يجي هو على المدرسة يشوفني، فصار في علاقة ود يعني، بس من بعيد لبعيد، يعني لا أحكي معه ولا أحكي معي، وصار تعرف أهالي، يعني إنه أهله بيعرفوا أهلي وأهلي بيعرفوا أهله، فإجوا خطبوني أنا فورا فوافقت. لما ينباع شغلي أكيد بحس إنه في إقبال، يعني شغلي صح طيب، يعني ناس حبته، يعني تكون سعيدة، يعني أنجزت شيء. الناس هناك كتير يعني تلاقيهم كيفك شو أخبارك، يعني إنه بلاقوكي بوش حلو بابتسامة عريضة، يعني إنه سعيدين فيني، سعيدين بشغلي، سعيدين بالحلويات. أكيد هذا الشيء بفتخر فيه، وبنعمل شيء إحنا النساء السوريات، هي شغل حلو شغلنا وستات بيوت.